Ever find yourself wondering what really goes on behind the scenes of those life insurance commercials? Today's deep dive takes us into a real-life case that makes those jingles seem a million miles away.
Yeah, we're about to unravel a story about one woman's fight for what's rightfully hers,
Hmm.
um, and the insurance company that tried to use the fine print to avoid paying up.
You specifically asked us to dig into this Indian legal case, so let's get right to it. It all starts with Prabha and the unexpected passing of her husband, Mahesh, in 2012.
Right.
Mahesh was a police constable, a demanding job that often comes with its own set of risks. To prepare for the unexpected, he'd been diligent about life insurance.
Not unusual, right? Well, how about 7 different policies?
And what's interesting is they were all from the same company, LIC of India.
Hmm.
You might be wondering why someone would need so many policies, but that's a clue, not a coincidence. This detail becomes important later on.
Okay, so far so good. But here's where things get complicated. A few years before his passing, Mahesh had been hospitalized for a bout of hepatitis.
He recovered fully and returned to work. But, as you might guess, this medical history becomes a sticking point with the insurance company.
Exactly. When Prabha files her claims, LIC refuses to pay out on the final 2 policies Mahesh had taken out. They claim he hid his past illness to get lower premiums.
Wow.
This, they argued, constituted fraud, which could potentially invalidate the policies.
Now, to be fair, pre-existing conditions are a big deal for insurers. It's all about assessing risk. But the court documents you sent us paint a more nuanced picture. The first court actually sided with LAC. They focused on the letter of the law, specifically the part about disclosing material facts.
A material fact in insurance terms is anything that could influence the insurer's decision to offer a policy or determine its price. LIC argued Mahesh's hepatitis diagnosis was a material fact he intentionally omitted.
So round one goes to the insurance giant. But thankfully, this isn't the end of Prabha's fight. She decides to appeal the decision, and that's when this case takes a really interesting turn.
The higher court digs deeper, and what they find challenges the very foundation of LIC's case. Remember those 7 policies I mentioned? Turns out Mahesh had been a loyal LIC customer since 1994, consistently increasing his coverage over the years.
This is where, like, my eyebrows shot up when I was going through the case files. It wasn't just about one policy, but a long history of Mahesh trusting LIC with his family's, well-being.
Exactly. The higher court saw this pattern of increasing coverage as evidence of Mahesh's good faith. It suggested transparency, not deception.
Right.
If he was truly trying to pull a fast one, why continue increasing his coverage with the same company after his diagnosis was already on record?
It's like they were saying, come on, LIC, you knew the guy. This really speaks to the importance of context, right?
Absolutely. The court even pointed out that Mahesh continued purchasing policies after rejoining the police force, a job where his health was, paramount. The timeline just didn't support LIC's narrative of a desperate man trying to hide his illness.
So what did this mean for Prabha? Did the higher court rule in her favor?
They did, and in a big way. Not only did Prabha receive the full amount from those 2 disputed policies, but the court also awarded her interest and additional compensation for mental agony and inconvenience.
Okay, hold on. Can you break that down for me? What does mental agony compensation mean in this context?
It's a powerful statement. By awarding this additional compensation, the court recognized the immense toll LIC's actions had taken on Prabha. Remember, this wasn't just about money. It was about her husband's legacy, her family's security, and her own tireless fight for what was right.
You're listening to this case, and you can't help but feel for Prabha. It's a testament to her persistence that she challenged the initial ruling and ultimately won.
Absolutely. And it sends a clear message that while legal systems can be complex, they are designed to protect individuals from unfair practices. This case reminds us that corporate giants aren't always in the right. And sometimes the most important details are hidden in plain sight, waiting to be connected by someone who's willing to look closely enough.
It's a David versus Goliath story where David actually wins, you know? This wasn't just a legal victory for Prabha, it was a moral one, too.
Precisely. The court's decision to award additional compensation for mental agony adds another layer to this victory. It acknowledges the emotional and psychological burden Prabha carried throughout this ordeal, a burden unjustly placed on her by LIC's actions.
Yeah, it makes you wonder about the human cost of these kinds of legal battles, the stress and uncertainty faced by everyday people like Prabha. But this case also offers a sense of hope, don't you think?
I completely agree. It reminds us that even when facing powerful entities, One person's commitment to truth and perseverance can make a difference. It's a powerful reminder for anyone who's ever felt overwhelmed by a system that seems, rigged against them.
This whole experience has been eye-opening, even for someone like me who thought they understood the world of insurance. I have to say, diving into these documents with you has given me a whole new perspective.
And that's the beauty of these deep dives, isn't it? We uncover hidden truths, challenge assumptions, and hopefully equip our listeners with a more nuanced understanding of the world around them.
And for you, our listener, who specifically requested this deep dive, we hope this case has provided you with valuable insight into the Indian legal system, the complexities of insurance disputes, and the importance of context in seeking justice.
Remember, knowledge is power. By understanding the nuances of material facts, the significance of thorough investigations, and the potential human impact of legal battles, you're better equipped to navigate similar situations should you ever encounter them.
So there you have it. A seemingly simple insurance claim unraveling a story of corporate accountability, individual resilience, and the pursuit of justice. Remember, sometimes the most important clues are hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone determined enough to connect the dots. Until next time, stay curious, keep asking questions, and never underestimate the power of a well-fought battle for what's right.